So I just didn't think that it was like, I thought it was, I thought about it a lot like a surgery, you know, like there was something there that I remember I was, with Animal Years, I had just started, when I was writing that record, I had just started running, and I was running and running. I was back in Idaho, and I would go on these runs down these kind of long gravel roads, and I remember sometimes just getting so angry about nothing that specific. It was just free-floating anger, and I felt like it was growing, you know, in me, and I felt like Animal Years was about kind of just cutting that out and getting it out, you know, and then once that was out, I felt pretty expunged and purged of it, you know. So I didn't think that was, it wasn't like I was trying to go out there and teach anybody a lesson, you know. I wanted to kind of go out and say what I felt was, which I felt, you know, Animal Years was about kind of religion and whatever a religion is getting taken away from people and used for kind of cynical ends. And I thought that, but after that I had no desire to tell people what, you know, what to think. That's one of my big pet peeves. Like most political songwriting, I'd say, is just about, you know, it's like teaching people like they're like their children, or like they have no experience with the world on their own. You know, people believe what they believe for a reason, and I just think music is the wrong place to try and teach somebody. You know, especially because I don't like artists who are, you know, you're a musician, you're not a political scientist, or, you know. so going from that to Conquest just felt like it wasn't so much that I wanted to stop writing politically. I just didn't feel the drive to do that at that time, you know. And it was just really fun. Like Conquest was a lot about, you know, I was working with Sam Gassier, my piano player, and he's my producer for this record as well. And it was like just an experiment, and it turned into this great fun game, you know, of recording, which was a whole new discovery, you know, getting to work with somebody who really got what I wanted. Yeah. I think in a lot of ways, this was a really defining record for me, making it. I guess the major one is the fact that, like, you know, I turned 33 and I have 6 records out, you know, and at the end of my last record I thought, you know, really I was touring a lot and touring, and I had, you know, just the chance to do a lot of stuff, and you know, kind of in the back of my mind while I was doing it, I was thinking, what's going to happen now? You know, what am I going to write about? You know, how am I going to keep from you know, being just, you know, how am I gonna keep this new? How am I gonna keep making new music? And I was worried about it. It was just, you know, and I wrote and wrote, and nothing seemed right. You know, it felt like, just felt like I was repeating myself. As like the Springsteen song, it's like, you know, same old story, same old act, and I always felt like I fought to get a career where I could play music and do that for the rest of my life. And I felt like when I got to that point, I suddenly felt like, do I have anything else to say, you know? It's sort of like, you know, you're campaigning for an office, and once you get there, you have no idea what to do, you know? I think it's dangerous, and I feel like I've met people who have decided that they've got to that point, and they're just gonna play their songs that people know, their hits, and that's it, and they stop developing, you know. And I didn't want that to happen, so I spent a lot of time just kind of chewing on my fingers and then trying to make sure that, like, I could write some songs that actually meant something new, and that's out of that came eventually, out of a lot of working and kind of life strife. I started working on some songs, one of which was called "The Curse," and it started as just the idea of a mummy's curse, and that, you know, what would happen if the mummy and the archaeologist fell in love. And it was like, you only need one song usually to get you going, you know, one song to make you feel like you can do this again, you know, and that you're not as bad as you think you are at the moment, you know. And once that happens, it's the world kind of opens up.